Now, UK's first LGBT plus retirement community has been given the go-ahead in central London.
It's been described as a significant milestone and has the backing of the capital's mayor, Sadiq Khan.
We're joined now by Geoff from the Housing Association behind the project. His terminally ill partner, Jamie, experienced homophobia from a carer 20 years ago. Good morning to you, Geoff. Nice to speak to you on the programme today. So give us an idea of the thinking behind these homes.
Right. Well, yes. My involvement came as a result of the experience that I had with Jamie. We'd been together for over 30 years. He became terminally ill with a degenerative heart condition, and I was still working, and we had carers. He got quite about a year before he died. He got more depressed than he had normally been. And eventually I said to him, "Look, Jamie, what's the matter?" And he said, "Well, every morning when my carer comes, she kneels down in front of me and prays for my condemned soul because I'm gay." And clearly this was not something that was acceptable. And so he did die eventually. And so I started to think about, well, if he experienced this kind of treatment, other people in similar circumstances were probably getting the same. So with colleagues, we started to research the idea to find out what exactly was happening to the older LGBT community. And we discovered that, in fact, despite the fact that there are tens of thousands of over 65 LGBT community members, there were no specialist services for them. So this was, I suppose just thinking, it must have been about 8, 9 years ago now. So it's taken us a while. But what we have discovered is that from the survey that we did, which was the Building Safe Choices survey, which we conducted with others in London to look, it's the largest survey of older LGBT members, that 79% of those that we responded to the survey said that they would favour a service that was LGBTQ plus affirming.
And what would that look like, Geoff? What would the setup be?
Well, what we got at the moment, we're buying in. As a result of the mayor's donation, we're going to be able to buy apartments at One Bank House, which is an already existing care facility. And as we will then be able to sell those on a shared ownership basis to members of our community. And we will have an environment, we'll be creating an environment where those who are in our community will be able to, as our strapline says, we will be able to live our lives out in a community that is not just LGBT friendly, but LGBT affirmative, where who we are is who we are, and we are allowed to be that. We don't have to explain ourselves. We can be the people that we've always been. Because in the past, and still happening in many situations, if you have been a member of our community, you have to go back into the closet because of the kind of experience that people have where they are known, where the homophobia and so on, and the lack of understanding. So, for example, I'm now, fortunately, a very happily married man, and I wear a wedding ring. But generally, in most situations, if I wear a wedding ring, people say, and how is your wife? And I have to say, I don't have a wife, I have a husband. And sometimes that's fine, but very often that is a very difficult conversation to have. And people do not welcome that, and you don't feel comfortable in that situation. So this community that we are going to be setting up, and it's the first step, I have to say. It's not it's not a big scheme. It's a small scheme. It's a small step. There are many similar kind of for homes in other countries, in America, in Germany, and so on.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, Geoff, because what's your reaction been to this?
Sorry,
what's the reaction been? How's it gone down?
Well, so far, extremely positively. We've had enormous support on the journey that we've taken from the various trusts that have provided us with the funding to enable us to get to where we are, to kind of pro bono work from lawyers, from people in the housing association industry. So enormous support for the scheme and what we're trying to do. It as I say, it's taken us a while to get here, but it feels good. And yesterday, when the announcement of the loan arrangement that's been made with the Community Housing Fund, when that was made, our Twitter account, our Instagram account, all of the various social media elements have been inundated with messages of support. So it feels good. It feels good. We're not there yet, obviously. There's lots more to do. There's still homophobia out there. There's transphobia. There's all of those elements. And but it feels good. It feels good that finally, after 8-9 years, we're getting to a place where we will be able to do something for our community. A first step, a small one, but an important first step.
Well, thank you for talking to us about it this morning. Geoff Pine.